Okay, Taurus, I'm going to do 3 cards. I'm going to get your past, your present, your future. So looking into September, where have you been, where are you going? I'll see if there's anything to do with career or love. And then I'll get you some general advice from Spirit, okay? So Spirit, what is coming in for Taurus in September? Can you give me 3 cards? One for their past, their present and their future. So starting off with the past. Okay, so we've got a combination for the past. One for the present. And one for the future, please. Keeps passing me them from the bag, okay. Ooh, interesting, okay. So, for the past, you've got the King of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, and the Emperor. Jesus, okay. So, the King of Pentacles, you leveled up. The King of Pentacles is someone who is a great provider, great with money. Let's look at him in isolation. Male or female doesn't matter, okay? They're probably the head of a household, they have responsibilities. Or if you're not the head of a household, you certainly run a team and work, okay? So possibly you were promoted or took a course or went for a job that's higher, or your business grew. Because you went from the King of Pentacles, you worked incredibly hard. 8 of Pentacles is crafting your skill, honing your skill. It's taking training, formal or informal, okay, because you can learn from watching others work. You can shadow people, you can do work experience, you can make new investments or start up businesses or put more money or more time or more energy into a business. Something has grown and you seriously leveled up. You've become the Emperor, okay? So this person's already successful, but there isn't a higher status than this, okay? It's the Emperor is Aries energy. It's driven, it's self-motivated, it's a go-getter, it's someone that's high energy, upbeat. It's a go, go, go kind of like, you know, the person has a staff, okay, as if they're like royal or like, they've got the world at their feet, like, and they own it, right? So that is seriously cool. So that's your past, okay? Amazing success. Knight of Wands is someone who is, so this is your present, okay? So it's someone who is on a mission, okay? The Knight of Wands is a fast energy. It's a passionate energy. It can be passionate towards love. This is a phallic object. So in this deck, it's one of these like spirally shells, or it looks like, you know what it reminds me of actually, on the front of a narwhal. They look like a dolphin, but they have these like spirally horns on the front that are incredibly sharp, and they seem to use them when they're fighting. They're not 100% why they have them, because females have them as well. So it could be for, stabbing others, to protect young, but the males have a longer one, so it seems to be like, could be protection, or, when they fight each other to sort of compete for a female, like fight to the death kind of thing. So it's a very like passionate energy. The Knight of Wands is sometimes associated with a player, but it can just be someone who's like coming in hot because they're really passionate about a person or a project, okay? It's a fast energy. It's like, doesn't take a lot to motivate this person. So lots of fire energy here. Let's have a look at your future then, going into September. What is September going to bring? Okay, so we've got the Knight of Pentacles is an invitation. So you could be inviting someone on a date, or somebody could be inviting you on a date. We've got laying the swords down and taking some much needed rest. And then we've got the Fool. So the Fool is someone who is ready to take a leap of faith. They're ready to take on a new challenge, a new project, a new phase, a new relationship. It's optimism, okay? This is such an interesting card. Like, he's surrounded by mirrors, and in it is skeletons, but it's him because he's holding up. It makes me think of like an ego death. So if you're carrying doubts, if you're carrying fears, if you've got hang-ups of any kind, if you're worried what people think, that ego death happens, and it's like, okay, I don't care anymore. I'm blindly optimistic about this. So that's really cool. So let's see what it is that you're contemplating taking a leap of faith on, because there's a lot of pentacles here. It could be a career opportunity that you're passionate about, or it could be love. So let's see, in terms of career, what would fit with that. Light and love. Your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love to this world. Wow. Your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love to this world. So that could be associated with the ego death. I mean, divine healing, light and love. You might be someone who's like an inspirational speaker in terms of like, you know how you have like life coaches. I'm personally not a fan because I don't really... I'd rather learn from someone who, you know, is great at something, or is like humble and wise, and they just give out good advice, and they're quite down to earth. And I feel like life coaches are like toxically positive. But divine healing and light and love is you know, someone who's always there for the people, like, or they just know the right words to say, or you like go and confide in a friend, and you always go to that friend because they make you feel really safe, really welcome, no judgment, and like, yeah, so I get like a friend vibe, a parent vibe. Parents give out such good advice. I got a lot of healing from tarot readers, so you might be a tarot reader, you might be someone excuse me, who's a therapist, or you know, like, there's people online who have a platform discussing like how to heal from narcissistic abuse. That is like providing healing to people. You are giving, usually they're people who have, you know, psychology degrees. I wouldn't like listen to anyone who's just chatting crap, but people can get that advice from life experience, sure they can, but obviously if they're certified, and sometimes people have that experience and then they go and get certified in it because that's what drives them to kind of find out more, is because, you know, they grew up with a narcissistic mother, for example. I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's just examples. You can help unlimited amounts of people who are trying to recover from narcissistic abuse. You are providing, you know, divine healing and light and love, because you're telling people, I know what you've been through, this is how you identify it if you're not sure, and these are the ways that you can, you know, combat, that and heal from it and move on from it. This is how you're going to process it. So that's just an example. You could be someone who is religious. You could be a light worker. So a light worker doesn't necessarily become a tarot reader. They might be someone who just happens to come into people's lives when they're experiencing pain or sorrow or grief, or they're upset for some reason, or they've had a real knock. Like, for example, I came in someone's life when they had PTSD. They come out of the army and they didn't actually have the capacity to love again. And I'm not saying they do now, but this person saw me as very happy, very optimistic. They saw my family photos. They saw that I was great with little ones, that I was light-hearted, fun to be around, that I was a stable person. They were very drawn to that, okay? And they were like, you're exactly what I need right now. And I kind of begrudged them at the time because we weren't able to have a healthy relationship. However, that person got some stability, some sense of safety, where they were experiencing extreme pain, having flashbacks. I think they still do, to be honest. They were on a lot of medication, they were scared, they were, having suicidal thoughts. So that's one example. Another example is someone who's healing from trauma, because the girlfriend is actually unwell to the point of not going to recover, and never going to get mobility again. The relationship changed forever, that dynamic changed. They couldn't, there wasn't the capacity to have a relationship anymore, and that person, it was like, I know that for a fact that person was considering leaving this world, and experiencing extreme anger, extreme depression, just a total loss of control. I know I've come into people's lives when they are struggling with family. They don't understand why their mum doesn't love them. And in none of these situations did I manage to stay with that person. In fact, in all of these situations, they left me. However, I've come to realise that they all got some kind of safety, some kind of healing, and some kind of comfort because I'm an empath. Okay, so just because it doesn't work out in the end doesn't mean that you haven't really been brought into someone's life for a reason. Because what might have happened to them if you hadn't have come into their life is they might have felt like no one understood. It's really weird because I moved in next door to this person. Sorry, I didn't move in next door. My sister moved in next door to this person, and for his particular experience, the one whose girlfriend was extremely unwell and stayed that way, unfortunately and tragically, he happened to move in afterwards next door, so that's a coincidence. And then my nan has this particular syndrome, and he felt like he couldn't really find anyone that understood what it was like when he went to go and visit, and the lack of communication that was now possible, and feeling foolish, trying to talk in front of this person, and it was just mad how life put me, when there's just too many coincidences, and then he felt like I actually understood, and we had quite a lot of deep and profound conversations. It wasn't a shallow thing. I wasn't an opportunist trying to get with somebody who was vulnerable. I was put in that privileged position by the divine. As I see it retrospectively, at the time I was just like, well, that's a weird coincidence, So you could be, a light worker is someone that you tend to come into people's lives when they're at their darkest moment, they're in their darkest hour, and they don't know if they're going to make it, and somehow, you help them along their way. doesn't have to be a relationship, but for me it tended to be, just because they were male, they were attracted to me generally though, like it was like my personality, you know, like a sunny kind of aura. When you're in the dark, you want to find the light, right? So you want someone who's light-hearted but sensitive, someone who understands, someone who's not going to play with your heart, like, does that make sense? But it's not happening because you might feel like you're getting something out of it, because they might be really attractive to you, like really handsome or really, you know, romantic, or so, you know, it's very intense, but it's over before it's even begun, kind of thing, you know, like, because they're still not able to like have a relationship with you long term, but I think they just needed somebody with these characteristics to sort of help them get back up, right? So I was quite resentful of that for a while when I was younger, but I don't mind now. And I have had beautiful relationships that have worked since, and I've been treated very, very well, and it was very healthy. So don't think that means you can never have a relationship. It doesn't. It just, you tend to, like, you know, attract people in who are troubled because they need a particular kind of person. So it might just be that you're going to help people by just being you, you know, or it could be turned into a career path. Okay, let's get one for love. So I'm looking at future because I strongly feel that was past for. It may be that you've become incredibly successful through this career path. Because this is a career deck. It's career, but it's life purpose. What is your true life's purpose? So the light work, I think, is something that becomes more obvious retrospectively. You know, like, I didn't really understand that till I was in my 30s, didn't know what a light worker was, and I didn't believe that I was one, and then I kind of became okay with it, and now I'm quite proud of it, to be honest, because it means you've got the attributes to do that. Okay, you've been selected to do that for people who are really in a vulnerable state, because not everyone is somebody to go to in a vulnerable state. Let's have a look in terms of if this is love, like a date, or you're ready to go into a relationship with someone. Let's see. Fiery balance. Yeah, because if you're the emperor through career, you also need a balance. You need a life. Embrace intense forces, offset turmoil, and stabilise with calm resolve. Well, that sounds more like managing emotions, doesn't it? But it could be, see, we had the Knight of Wands as fire energy, and we had Aries, which is fire energy. And on the other end of that, avoid burnout. Fiery passion is consuming, sustain a lasting balance. I think you need more passion in your life, perhaps. So you might decide, look, I want career's going great, but I don't want to be solo. I'm going to ask someone out, or if I am with somebody, I'm going to arrange a romantic date night. I'm going to put more focus onto our relationship, because be careful, because relationships need maintaining. They need maintaining. A lot of people make this mistake in their 20s. They don't realise that, you know, they were like coming hot with the dating, and they love wooing you and surprising you and all this, and then after a year it's like, and that's just does itself now, and it's like, no, because you're going to really hurt someone if you don't, you know, if you treat them like wallpaper, you don't look at them, you know, or compliment them. You might be thinking gorgeous things, but you're not saying it anymore. Well, like, you couldn't stop it coming out your mouth originally, or you might go for your working day not sending them a message, and it's like, that's a bit not very nice. Or you might go to sleep without, you know, like, being romantic with them first, like being intimate. Like, remember to do all these things. Remember to sit across from them without the telly on and face them and talk to them, you know, at a meal and be interested, because all these things need to be done. But I feel like this is a leap into something new, because it's the Fool, that's 0, and after that is 1, which is the start of a new cycle. So it might just be like the start of a phase where you pursue romance, or you're more open, you've got your eyes open to romance rather than being closed off to the opportunities around you. Or it could indeed be, you know, if you have a small business, you might say, well, I want to franchise it, and I want to, you know, open up different sites with the same store, you know, across different locations. Or do you know what I mean? Like, it could be an extension of the project that you already have going on, you're just passionate about it. But it says this could be a warning where it's like, avoid kind of burnout. Well, to be honest, this one says a fiery balance, stabilise with calm resolve. So I'm getting like focus on love. Also, like, remember to use your power for good. Don't kind of monopolise things and people, because when you take on a franchise, you can kind of exploit almost like people who work for you, and you're not really feeling that. If you don't know what I mean, watch Undercover Boss USA, which probably isn't even running anymore, but it was a very good example of CEOs who'd lost sight of, like, you know, they're quite removed from the situation. Like, they were getting all this money from the business, like, at the top, and they were setting all the rules and everything, but they weren't realising, they weren't going visiting their employees, their, like, middle managers, and seeing, like, if they're actually thriving or if they're struggling, you know, and, like, how to support them. So make sure you keep providing the adequate support for your employees, to keep that business strong and not take advantage of, you know, are they getting enough benefits for working hard? Like, is it working what they're doing? Is that location working? Could you put them in another location so that they don't lose their job and they get more custom and they are able to pay the mortgage? Like, you know, this is business. Like, remember to stay true to who you are, and actually be helping people rather than exploiting them. But I feel like, remember to have a balance, like a work-life balance. Make sure you do stuff other than work, because you can become, if you're the emperor, you might become a workaholic, especially if you're good at something and something's doing well. That becomes addictive, getting that kick out of that. So remember to spend time with family, to actually have family time, to actually get into a relationship, because they're going to be your confidant, they're going to be your person that you confide in, that you get solid advice from, who's on your side, because it's lonely being at the top sometimes. So embrace intense forces, offset turmoil, stabilise. Yeah, because things could be going well now, and then you could lose everything, or you could have a few knocks, or you could have a really difficult situation. Like, who do you trust to be your ride or die? Because someone could come into your life and just drain all your money. They could come into your life and not care about what you do, or they could just not really care about you, you know. Or you might get a lot of stress and a lot of strain from, you know, expanding this organisation or business. Or you could, like, you know, I'm just thinking about your purpose is divine healing, light and love. You might be running a charity, okay, so you have to fundraise, you have to, like, pay all the salaries to all the people that work in this organisation, because they can't have a, you know, people are like, oh, why would people have a salary? But it's like, they literally, like, are doing a full-time job trying to fundraise, run events, events management, networking. You can't expect people to do things for free. They actually cannot do that, okay, not like a regional networking kind of like person. They need big salaries for that, so you can feel very guilty as well if you need to let people go. Businesses do go through phases, they hit hard times. You might find that you need to make cutbacks, and that's going to be really hard on your emotions. So growing is fun, having to make cutbacks is not fun. Okay, so with great power comes great responsibility and a lot on your shoulders. So have someone for you who's there for you, who understands, the toll that these responsibilities take. Okay. You could also be like the head teacher of a school, or someone who's like very, very good orator. You could be a politician, you could be someone who's a motivational speaker, someone who's strong, like very fervent in their beliefs. You could be like a physiotherapist or an occupational therapist, or someone who physically heals, but you bring emotional light and love to them through that. You could be running, could be like a district nurse running a team of people, or it could just be that you're doing well financially and it's not connected to this purpose of like being a light worker. I do feel that you've done well. You may have come to the end of a course and now you're just at a different level, different status. You have different earning potential because you finished that professional qualification or study, or you observed a lot of people and learned a lot of stuff, or you shadowed people who have gone and done work experience. But you must already have been at a certain level or had a certain number of years of experience to be a King of Pentacles. It's just that you've gone even higher, okay? That is in the past. Present is, high energy, high confidence, high passion. You're going in for what you want, and the Knight of Pentacles could be an opportunity. It's a sure and steady one. It's not a fast energy. It's you're going in fast towards this like opportunity, or you want to offer a date or communication with someone. But you're like on the precipice of like a new phase, a new chapter. So it's asking you for balance, embrace the fire, but offset the turmoil, stabilise with calm resolve. Yeah, calm resolve. Interestingly, it's got the swords there, so it's like you might be a fire sign. I know you're not a fire sign, but a fire placement. Like you could be Aries moon, for example, or you could just have somewhere in your many placements. You could have an element, or you might just be embodying that energy because you're highly driven and you're having success. Calm is like, this is like much needed respite, and you're accepting that and taking it. So it's like pace yourself before this new phase, maybe. Should we see if anything comes out of this one? If this is, say if it was love, because this is a love deck. Paradise is upside down there. Happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. Yeah, I just think because that was reversed, I think it's like make sure that you have time to have fun. Like I've been really excited about doing my tarot channels, and I found that I was like reading so much for other people. I was giving, pouring out time, energy, emotion into other people, that I then wasn't like doing my own life. Like I need to spend time. Like I went to my sister's house, had such a good time. my nephews were there, everyone ended up in the room laughing their heads off. We were just chilling, like, and I need to make sure I do that. I'd spent too much time alone, or too much time working, and the combination of that isolation was just not good for me. So I get energy and creativity and ideas when I raise my vibrations, and they get raised by being around the people that I love, who I always have a good time with, and feeling like I'm nurturing those connections in people that are important to me. Okay, so I think it's about having balance. Okay, right, that was a super long reading, Taurus. You're very lucky. But possibly need to heed that, okay, going into a new phase, because that will galvanise you, it'll energise you, and it'll make you even better at what you do. Okay, so make sure you raise your vibrations and get energy for this new phase by seeing the people that you love, spending time with the people that you love, and having a fun and have a laugh, okay? Because I love to laugh and I love to have fun, and it's easily done, where you just don't arrange to see people or do things and you think you're fine, and then you just go like really low, and I just could feel that grey cloud over me, and I was like, what is going on? So I was just like, right, message my sister, okay, I'm staying here tonight, felt better, right, do something nice for your family. Went and washed all the windows on the house, which were just dirty for ages, and like, we all live together, like, why am I just waiting for someone else to do it? So I just did it, and knew it'd make them happy, parents dead happy, so I sort of surprised them. I can see out the windows. It was exercise, and I just, after like seeing my sister, we had such a laugh, like me and the boys and her. I'm like, I know everyone else feels good from that, which provided light and love exponentially. I felt better, they felt good, my parents felt good, probably made them feel good that I was spending time with my sister as well. And then everyone's just happier, right? So it's like multiple exponential raising vibrations all around you, and that was just a choice to just recognise, like, listen to how I'm feeling, like, yeah, listen to how you're feeling. Don't just be like, but I love my job and I'm making progress. Like, take those respites, take those pauses. I actually gained new followers as well without posting anything new, and I'm not bragging because I've been posting prolifically. Like, the amount of work that I'm doing probably isn't necessary. Do you know what I mean? Like, take your foot off the brake a bit and trust that, don't micromanage, like, trust that you've got a good thing going, and you don't always need to be working to like keep that going good. If you're doing things well, you put in, you wait, you put in, you wait, you put in, you wait, right? Because you're going to reach a burnout, and that's something that the biggest CEOs will tell you. Okay, so I'm going to get this uploaded, give it a like. Yeah, I don't feel this is, I just feel like you've got more to come. It's really good. So make sure you balance, okay? Make sure you take your respites, invest in the people around you, it'll raise your vibrations, make you even better at what you do, okay? Okay, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to upload this for you now.